What's up, guys? So you might have looked at the title, hopefully, and are probably very confused. The title is real, just a tad bit exaggerated. But yeah, I'm gonna get straight into it. Okay, so this took place while I was, just getting dropped off at school. So this was about 7:50-ish in the morning. And so okay. As a, like so there were people in front of me that were getting dropped off. And so there were some teachers outside that were directing them to not go through the front door, but instead go walk around the side of the school. And I was like, that's weird. And so I got out and I was following my friend C, and I was like, do you know why they're doing this? And they were like, no, I don't. And we were both like, well, we just got here, so let's see how this plays out. And so as we were walking to the side of the school, there were there was probably thousands of students walking, well, just 8,000, but a lot of people walking into the Career Center, or ATC, and Votech, which are both they help with a lot of the more high quality, I guess, extracurriculars. For example, criminal investigation, welding, stuff like that. And so me and C were walking into the Career Center, aka ATC, and so eventually we overheard that there was a fire in the kitchen, right? So I was like, oh my god, all of my friends are dead. That's a little bit exaggerated, but I was stressed. I didn't know what was going on. And I was like, I don't know if my friends are safe or not. But eventually, they bring us into this one room that I'm assuming is used for one of those kinds of classrooms. And so I see my friend Tubby, and I'm like, oh my god, is Blue Frog okay? And they were like, yeah, they're right behind you, basically. and and they walked into the room, and I was like, I thought you were dead. But we both had this moment of I didn't know if you were safe. And so I was like, did you hear anything besides small fire in the kitchen? And they were like, no, that's basically what I heard too. And so our mutual friend Kay was just like, yeah, they think something caught fire in the kitchen, but it was more smoke than flame. And I was like, okay. And Blue Frog was like, I'm a little bit upset at myself because I left my bag in the cafeteria, because I thought it was a drill, which is a very common thing that I heard. Was I thought it was a drill, and so there's probably 75 kids in this room that we're in. And I usually don't get claustrophobic from a lot of people because I go to cons at least once a year, and my high school has almost 1,000 students in it. But I got the same feeling I felt when I went to a con when I was 8. I think I was either 8 or 10. But we were I'm gonna backtrack for a second so you can really be put in perspective of what I was feeling. So at this con, me and my dad were downstairs gonna get autographs, and well, it was mainly my dad. But I was like, can we not be in here? I don't like it. And he was like, yeah, we can step out for a minute if you need to calm down. That's exactly what that felt like. and I was not having fun. So eventually we figured out that we could go into the like much bigger room where they do probably a lot of crazy stuff. And like at this point it's past 8. So we are all like there's probably about the same number of kids in this room. And we're just all kind of like wandering around and stuff. And then some of the teachers get our attention and they're like, "We are not gonna have school today." And that whole room erupted in cheers. Like you would have thought that like, I don't know, the football team made a really good goal or something. uh, but like it was so loud in that room. You could barely hear what like the person next to you was saying. So they were eventually just like, if you have a car, you can go ahead and leave. But just like stay in the parking lot for a little bit. The buses are gonna come around later. It is currently not safe to enter the building. So we want you guys to stay in here until we get it under control a little bit, so that way you can get your stuff. So we were like, okay, we're gonna be stuck here. So like there were so many kids like texting their parents and guardians being like, "There was a fire at school, I need you to come pick me up." Initially I texted my dad because my mom's not allowed to have her phone at work. And I was like, "There was a fire at school." And he's like, "Okay, be safe." And then I'm guessing he got a hold of my mom, and my mom got a hold of like my mama and my friend, well, our mutual friend that's like an adult. And I told her what happened. I told her that my teacher, Miss H, and my bestie, that she was gonna like, no wait. So my mom made it sound like that she couldn't come like pick me up. So we just had Miss H do it. And so eventually they were just like, "Okay, it's safe to go in the building. You can get your stuff if you need it." And so Blue Frog was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I was like, "Do you need me to like go in there with you just in case?" And they were like, "Yeah, you can be here for moral support." So like we walked in and it didn't immediately smell like smoke, but like by the time we got like to the cafeteria area, you could totally smell it. Like it smelled like burning plastic, right? So we got their stuff, we got back outside. And like during this time, they're trying to get a hold of their dad so they can be like, "Can you pick me up?" And like they probably called their dad like 5 times, and like their dad didn't pick up a single time. Eventually they called their mom and was just explaining the situation, and they were like, "I can just get a ride with DK, okay?" So Miss H was, I explained the situation to Miss H. She was like, "Okay, I gotta go back inside and get my keys to my car." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." So we followed her in there, followed her back out. So we left, and she was just kind of like, "Yeah, the control panel broke from the fire," which made it sound like that the control panel got on fire. So we weren't allowed, so like they couldn't make the legally required food. But eventually, she was just like, yeah, fiberglass caught on fire. And I was like, what's fiberglass? She was just like, it's plastic with fibers in it. And it's highly explosive. Yeah, we could have died. So we drop off Blue Frog. I get dropped off at my mama's house. All is peachy. And, like, the teachers still have to stay at the school for some reason. Nobody's really sure why. But yeah. Like, that was just a whole thing that wasn't necessary. But, like, there were some people in there looking for their friends that was, like, in the Votech building, and probably vice versa. But it was, like, very stressful, especially with the amount of people in one building at one, like, all at once. Like, it was at a level that I wasn't used to. So I got stressed very quickly. And so every Wednesday I have a D&D meet with, well, it's technically a session, but I call it a meet. But, in our, what's the word? Campaign, we have a session every Wednesday. And, at some point our DM was just like, so I think we're gonna cancel this week's, session. And I said, just a little bit. But yeah. I might not have school for the next few days. I will get back to you on that. But, it made it sound like that we wouldn't be able to have school for an indefinite amount of time because of the damage that was done. So, but I don't know, because one of my I emailed one of my teachers about an assignment. She was just like, oh, you can work on it tomorrow. Like, she made it sound like that we were gonna be, like, back at school tomorrow. So, I don't know. But yeah. See you guys in the next one. Okay, bye. Whoa, okay, forget everything I just said. The reason why we had a fire was because the boiler, or, like, something that controls the boiler, had, like, caught fire somehow. I guess it malfunctioned, and the smoke and stuff had risen to the kitchen, and then it set off the fire alarm, and then everybody left. So, yeah. Okay. Bye for real this time.